break. All the game.
So according to James, during the entire time, there's just like, there's a break going on. There's no game.
No.
It's just, we sit here and do nothing.
Of course.
For anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour.
I just want to. I'm on a break.
You're on a break.
Yeah.
Is that
But
really?
it's not their break if it's your break, is it?
But I'll see you after my break. I'm gonna have
But you didn't
nice
say that.
coffee
But why
you gonna eat
do
a
you get
sandwich?
breaks?
because I'm. They can't afford me. I charge per word. They need to take me off camera, otherwise I will bankrupt.
No wonder you were
the-
talking so much today. Jesus.
the whole Dota community. I don't know who your agent is, but mine's fantastic.
You're my agent.
You're my agent.
Yeah.
Ah, I see now.
That's why we're
It all
getting
makes
stiff.
sense.
I need to leave.
This is just like my days in the porn industry. It's all falling apart for me.
All right, so game numero uno. It's Team Liquid taking on Fnatic. I don't know why I thought that introduction needed to be in Spanish.
Yeah.
Was it okay? Did I do it
Yeah,
right?
it was pretty nice.
All right, excellent. So Team Liquid,
Perfecto.
they're banning out two heroes that are iconic Fnatic. They take out the Wisp, they take out the Naga Siren. And Fnatic, they just ban out a hero that, said by Sam himself, is the only hero right now in 6.79 that is God tier.
Yeah, and that's the Elder Talent. And if Fnatic were, if I was in Fnatic, I would say, they would be a pretty terrible team. But also, I would ban, maybe now, maybe in the second stage, the Nature's Prophet. Because we've been talking about how Koikva has been so important
Let's
for
see some
Team Liquid.
stats on that, Bruno.
But also, not only about that, but also the fact that he's only been playing Nature's Prophet when he plays really well. So now he's been playing against also one of the best Nature's Prophet players in the West, which is Trixie.
I speak for the trees.
And I speak for the tree. And I would have been right.
Yeah.
First pick, Prophet.
Give
But
it to
it's
Koikva.
interesting to me that they actually took away the Bounty Hunter instead of the Prophet, because obviously any offlaner can play either of the heroes. It's not a matter of if you can field them or not. It's more a matter of what the Prophet has been able to give to a lot of teams. And in the current state of the game, if you look at it a couple of weeks ago, people were thinking, maybe Prophet's not as strong as before because you really want a lane to just win really hard. But people are still running tri-lanes. It's not that uncommon. Sure, you see more dual lanes now as well, but it's more diversity, I would say, overall. So in those situations, he still excels.
Don't you think it's the fact that Prophet can just join in the fight if he needs to? If he needs to get busy, he can just be there. That means that it's viable for him for you to play him like that. You know.
Well, before, a lot of it had to do with so much emphasis on one particular lane. Like, say, for instance, you have an aggressive tri-lane versus a defensive tri-lane. Now, if the Prophet TPs to that lane, then the impact is much greater because there's 3 heroes. They're likely to be under-leveled, and his mobility is pretty much unmatched in any hero in the game. So you can't keep up with them, and if you get a lane win in those types of games where it's a 1-1-3, then that lane is absolutely crippled, and you have 3 heroes that suffer from it instead of just 2. So in a way, it is a little bit worse, but the way that people are playing it is just better. Like, people are just better now than they used to be. So I think that the individual performance is starting to shine out a bit more in that regard. But Liquid, they're looking very similar to what they did yesterday.
Exactly.
They picked up the Prophet and the Venomancer together, and we talked about that damage combo, and it is pretty disgusting.
Do you poison Nova and then Prophet?
It doesn't
Well,
matter.
it doesn't matter the order. It's just like both the abilities together. You clip 1 or 2 people with a Poison Nova, and Koikva ulti is on one side of the map, and you get the maximum damage during a team fight. That's
like
almost
half
a
their
kill.
health. Yeah.
I mean, on a carry player, it's not going to be too much, but on a support, you can't stay in the fight anymore. You're forced to leave.
Yeah. We should try that tonight. I like Venomancer. He's a fun hero.
My Prophet won us a game, too.
Yeah.
I know.
Yep.
You win many games for yourself, Andy.
I do.
Have you heard that?
Have you noticed that when we win a game, it's because of Andy? When we lose
But
a game,
did you see the
goes
games?
through.
Were you watching the stream?
I was partially watching, yeah.
Okay.
They were good.
I
They
saw
were
you
fun
carrying
games.
Bruno knows the truth.
Of course I do.
Milton, our producer, was watching. He knows what I'm talking about.
I still can't remember if he was backing me or you. We'll have to talk to him.
No, he was
after the
backing
break.
you.
Yeah,
I'm
he
pretty
was.
sure.
Yeah, okay. Well, shout out to Milton then, because he knows what's up.
Go to hell, Milton.
You know who else knows what's up? Fnatic, because they banned out Weaver. And
Yep.
Weaver is just...
Very annoying.
Yeah.
Well, he's very annoying, and he's also a really good laner against heroes like Lifestealer in general. And given the fact that Liquid has already shown a Veno and a Nature's Prophet together, putting a Weaver on the team would be another hero who does a significant chunk of physical damage, and since you already have so much AoE, you don't have to worry about normally where you would have a Weaver and say, well, I need like 2 items before I can do anything, because you already have pretty heavy damage coming out from just the front 2 on Liquid.
5 seconds remaining.
And this is pretty much Fnatic watching Team Liquid's yesterday's game versus EG and saying, you won't have your way with us.
Reserve time.
We kind of know what you did. We probably went and watched the bots. And we still have the Lifestealer, which was, I think it was on EG's. Was it? No.
Lifestealer was, yes.
Yeah.
Fear was playing it.
Fear was playing Lifestealer. So it's like, well, we kind of have to want to run something similar to what EG ran, but we're not going to let you run what was particularly strong against our lineup. So yeah, I don't think it will come so far as to run the Slardar.
Turn to pick.
No, I don't think so. But they could pick it, because they were against, I want to say, these 2 heroes. I don't know if the Clockwork was there for sure. I know Lifestealer was, because I'm a Goldfish and my memory just doesn't span for longer than 30 seconds. And the Invoker comes out from Fnatic, so Hani's going to get his chance to play that again. I like the Invoker with Clockwork. It's a combo that we used to see a heck of a lot, especially when everyone was going Exort before they decided to nerf him. But the nice thing is, with Cogs, you can line up Sunstrikes so easily.
Yeah.
And especially Invoker combos, as long as you don't Deafening out of the Cogs, you can get the full damage of Meteor, always land EMP and things like that too. So any build that you want to do, I think in this situation is fine. EMP wouldn't be too bad against things like Veno and Bat, because neither of them have spectacular int gain. And Fnatic, they're going old school, man.
Yeah.
Shadow Demon.
And this is an Exort Invoker then.
Yeah.
Because when you have Cogs to zone people out, they can't move,
yeah.
and you have Shadow Demon with the disruption.
But that is that not to counter the Bat Rider a bit more than
Well, it can be
else?
both. That's just it. Like, you can choose your poison. Do you want to initiate, or do you want to save somebody from a lasso? Because either works.
Yeah.
But if you initiate with the Shadow Demon Disruption, it works very similar to how it does with a Kunkka. You just line up the Sunstrike when you come out, and it just hits them straight
10
away. And if a Soul Catcher's on, Sunstrike's already pure damage.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Crazy
5
damage.
seconds
Do you think
remaining.
Clock is one of the best initiators in the game?
I do.
Yeah.
One of the best initiators and
Reserve
counter initiators.
Yeah.
He's just like so unbelievably good, because heroes who have great initiation potential sometimes lack in the laning phase, especially as a melee hero. Like, how many melee initiators really are there? I guess Earthshaker is one, but he needs an item to do it. Clockwork doesn't need them, and he still can beat heroes in 1v1, which is really important. Although I will say that the Nature's Prophet Clockwork 1v1 that we saw yesterday, pretty one-sided.
Oh, yes.
Dominated. I mean, it wasn't even close.
I believe James played Shadow Demon Clockwork yesterday with Shane.
And there was a lot of shouting.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what was going on.
In fact, I know exactly which game it was, and I believe that Shane's Shadow Demon would disrupt every single time
That was
anybody was
the
about
Kunkka
to
game.
cast spells. Yeah, and Clockwork was in that game as well. Torrent was about to go off, he disrupts them. Shane's a funny guy. He's an excellent player, but he likes to mess with people. Never try laning with Shane. That's
I
what
laned
I'm going
with
to say
him.
right now.
I told you, man, he was nice to me.
Yeah, he was nice to you because he doesn't like you.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow. We'll have to have a talk with Shane tonight. We'll get to the real story out of him. So Team Liquid, they're looking for 2 more. You see the Pugna ban coming out from Fnatic, which I think is a really good idea, just given the fact that Liquid already has so much magic damage, and no one on the side of Fnatic really goes BKB.
Yes.
And that can be a problem, because you have heroes who are just going to
the
melt.
clock might go BKB.
Maybe.
Sometimes.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
I think Blade Mail is a lot better against that kind of a team than a BKB, because the Blade Mail, if the bat ever does try to fly over you with Firefly, you can just pop it. You can kill a Venomancer with his own abilities, because they're all damage over times.
Yeah.
And the same thing can be said with Nature's Prophet ulti. You can hear it going off. So
Yep.
if you preemptively Blade Mail, you can
Fnatic's turn to
return a
ban.
lot of damage.
Oh,
And now
Mirana.
Oh,
Mirana
Jesus.
from Liquid. So they are looking to be pretty dominant during the laning phase. Bat, Mirana, Veno, all I would call lane winners. They're really good during that particular stage. And Mirana as a 1 role, I don't know if we're going to be seeing that, but during mid-game with Starstorm and Arrow,
Team
still a
Liquid's
really strong
turn
hero.
to ban.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
arrow's great. I mean, it's like the Pudge Hook, I think, and the Clockwork Hook as well. It's one of those spells that just keeps me on my toes and makes me fear for my life at every single moment of the game.
Especially when you have so many easy setups. You can arrow into a lasso target, you can
10
arrow against a
seconds
sprouted
remaining.
target, even a gale target.
Even a
is
Gale
easy
target,
to-
yeah. The
just
Sprout
hit.
Arrow is a pretty sick
And
combo.
especially, I mean, hopefully not, but if Clockwork cogs something or Shadow Demon disrupts defensively,
Give 'em the-
then
give 'em the
suddenly
out,
they
yeah.
become very easy
Fnatic's
targets for the
turn
Mirana
to
as well.
pick.
Not saying that that's why they picked it, but it kind of makes sense.
That's a
Indeed.
bonus.
It's a bonus. And I'm looking now at Fnatic's team, and I'm wondering who will carry the mech in this team.
I think the Clockwork does, unless they last pick another support that can farm it. I mean, they could go something like CM, because it would
The
be...
junglers are still in the.
Yeah, I
in
mean,
the
you
pool.
could go Darkseer, you could go CM. I think that CM would fit pretty well because it to have a really aggressive dual roam. And if you get caught by that, if a Sunstrike's not enough after a Disrupting
5
Soul Catcher, then there's a
seconds
Bite and a Nova. That's a kill on any hero. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, you can't get away from that. But it depends on how aggressive they want to play it.
Reserve
I'm
time.
just waiting to see if Fnatic pick another red background hero because
They
Liquid
could
have
go Lina,
banned
too.
Liquid have
Yeah.
banned 5 blue background
Blue
heroes.
background heroes, and
This
these.
could be the counter to the blue ban is the red background strat.
You know what I wouldn't hate either is Lesh.
Lesh.
Yeah.
Because
I
they need a bit
really
of push.
synergizes.
Oh no, it's Sand King. So they're just going with a stun.
He's awesome.
Team Liquid
A stun's a
turn
stun.
to
It's
pick.
pretty much just
Not
naming
just
all
a
the stunning
stun,
support.
but
It's
one
a
of the best
deadly
stuns.
double roaming.
I think
Well, the
it's one
nice
of the best
thing
stuns.
about picking Sand King with Shadow Demon is that normally Sand King's range is really bad, right? Like at the start of the game,
Yeah, yeah.
350 on Burrow Strike, that's nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you have a Shadow Demon who has really long range on his opening skill to help you close the gap, it suddenly becomes a lot easier to land your
Definitely.
Burrow Strikes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you land the Burrow Strike, there's a good chance you're going to be getting the
10
Epi off.
seconds
Even though you
remaining.
can't cast it, even if you shift Q, it's not fast enough, you can still get
5
interrupted.
seconds
Yeah, yeah.
remaining.
You're going to be more panicking, being like, I want to get the hell out of here rather than thinking about stunning. So
Reserve
if they catch
time.
anyone, should still be a kill. But now Team Liquid, they're looking for one more.
I saw a video
5
about if
seconds
you're
remaining.
pre-blink dagger epi channeling, you stun so that you land behind them, so that someone has to turn around before they stun you,
Yeah.
and that
This
way
is
you get
Friday
enough
Night
time.
Soccer to me,
The problem with that is,
or maybe.
if you
No, what-
actually stun behind them, the person will just run the other way. I mean, it really depends on the player. If they see you channeling an Epi, they're going to run the distance, obviously, that is not the most inefficient. They're
Right,
not going to
right.
run
Yeah, yeah.
past you to get away from your Epi. They're going to run the other
But
way.
it does have a slow, doesn't it? I mean, it's like
It
a
does,
2-second stun on his stun, and it's like a 2.5-second channel for epi. So you've got just enough of time.
I think
to-
it's
to get it off.
2.17 on the stun. Yeah, it is.
So it's you've got enough time. I mean, you know, they're not going to get that far away. 30% slow.
Night Stalker seems to win a lot.
Oh, just the one game that they played for Liquid.
Yeah, but it's still a lot.
That's
It's a lot of
100%.
green.
You can't say 100%
10
win rate isn't a
seconds
lot.
remaining.
That's why I put the number there, because 100% would be just really deceiving if you didn't have that one.
Good point, Bruno.
Indeed. We are inside of the game, by the way.
Ooh.
So the good luck, have funds come out.
Prepare
We're going to get a
for
chance to see how the
battle.
lanes take shape. And the Night Stalker last pick for me, oh man, he is going to need a BKB so hard. I actually
Yes.
dislike picking Night Stalker into Shadow Demon because he's such a frontline hero that if you get Soul Catchered or disrupted in the first place and the Soul Catcher lands, you're suddenly in a situation where you can get bursted so heavily. So it depends on how they run him, I suppose. But then again, I did kind of question the Slardar yesterday,
Ah, yeah.
and TC made it work.
Yeah, and
But
speaking of,
do you think that was Slaughter? Sorry, Bruno. Do you think
Yeah.
that was Slaughter, or do you think that was just TC? Like, how much of that was down to the hero? How much of that was down to TC just being awesome?
Well, TC is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
he is pretty awesome. He's going to be pretty awesome, the Night Stalker. So it's not going to be a Night Stalker mid, as I hoped. It's going to be a Bat Rider mid, and that Bat Rider is getting pulled like
30
678
seconds to battle.
kind of style. He has 3 branches, and that's all he bought. And 2 little bit of tangos that someone gave him.
Nothing wrong with that.
Bulva complaining about Arteezy being pulled a lot,
And then gets pulled.
and then gets pulled.
No, I mean, it's pretty standard, though, because against an Exort Invoker, when you have a huge base damage nerf, you want your bottle as soon as possible, because you're going to have to stack stickies to be able to CS in this matchup now, whereas before, it probably
The
wasn't
battle
as hard,
begins.
at least during the early levels, so I think this is
Well-
an okay decision. And bottom lane, there was some
It's a fluff
potential
bottom.
action. Yeah, support Potom, man.
Yes. Do you like this?
She's
Andy?
a great support, I think.
Yeah, support Potom is really strong because you still get a tremendous amount of damage from your abilities, and you have an escape too, which not a lot of supports can say. What other support in the game can withstand getting hookshot by a clockwork? Not many.
Not many, really. Necrolite.
Well, maybe.
If
He's
you
not
run
a
him as a
support.
support.
That's what you should
Yeah.
have said.
Yeah, he's
not a-
It's
carry
not a
necro.
support.
He's
People
not a
think
support,
it's
but it's
intelligence. He's a support.
I was just thinking of the hero.
Oh,
Middle
Hani.
lane, Hani. He's got the Gale. He's got 3.
Is-
Make that 4.
Oh,
Sticky Ickies.
nice
No
save.
tail.
No tail.
He just scuttles over and he says, "You shall not pass." But Hani is still going to have a hard time. I mean, that damage that was dealt to Hani makes his laning a heck of a lot harder, because now he has to wait for regen, so he's going to be much more defensively positioned.
Fortunately for him,
Radiant's top
invokers
tower
normally
is
don't go
under
for
attack.
bottles. So this is not a rush for a bottle that gets delayed, but rather just rush for other items, which are nowhere as important. Maybe he wants the boots and the phase boots, but again, with the Rat Rider taking such a hard hit on his base damage, he's going to be okay less hitting, especially since he's going Exort, because that's what you want to go when you have a Shadow Demon and a Clockwork. And there's a Gale bottom, and Era, he has a Rage, he's going to be
We're
fine.
looking for a kill on Koikfa top as well. No Tail's got boots, very
Oh,
early
Trixie
boots.
missed the cogs.
Yeah, that sucks.
I don't know if that would have been a kill anyway, though, because there was a full creep wave,
Yeah.
and it's only level 1 battery assault. I don't know if between the two of them they could have gotten that. Although No Tail does have boots.
Yeah.
I think if it was going to be first blood, they dive that really heavily and risk giving away a kill too.
That's what you were saying about his short-range burrow. It is a nightmare being Sand King. I mean, look
Yeah.
at the 350 is
It's
awful.
so little.
Yeah, but it is still a two-second stun, which is
Yeah, it's really nice.
Question for Pyrian.
Sir.
Do you ever go boots first in a game?
When I play Sand King, I tend to play him as a really sort of more as a sort of supporty support. So I tend to like I obviously am no tail, but I tend to go for the strength glove.
Okay,
Okay,
so you
I
go
got
for an
it.
urn.
An urn, I like to get an urn on him because it seems to take forever to get mana boots blink, and I like to have the mana to, once the lanes are a little clear and I've got some time, go and farm the jungle a bit, get some levels in Caustic Finale and go and farm up a blink dagger, because it is really, really good, I think, as an initiation in a fight to be able to blink epi, stun 2 or 3 people. It's too good. So in some ways I think getting boots on him is a really good idea, and I might think about it, but I don't know. It's tough. If you want to go roaming, like we saw Fluff go roaming Sand King. I think it was in the first game actually of the DreamLeague, and he, do you remember it?
They were against Na'Vi.
Yeah, and he went running all over the map as Sand King and needed lots of regen and stuff. And
Most of the times when you see a Sand King in a pro game, he's going to be roaming.
Yeah.
Hardly you'll see a Sand King in a lane just by himself,
Right.
because it doesn't really accomplish much. And speaking of that, Hani, he's level 3, he has Cold Snap, and he will have in about 7 seconds. Do you want to go?
No, he's pushing the wave to get
Okay.
to
They
it.
want to go
Fair
on
enough.
Bulba
And
here.
now he sees that No Tail's here, so he's going to have to hope it spawns bottom, and it does not.
No.
So no regen for Bulba, unfortunately. And Fluff, he's going to get disrupted. I
You
think
can
he's
jump.
Fine.
You can jump if you want
He
to.
hasn't skilled anything. He doesn't need to, though. Way 2's nearby, so not going to
Radiant's
be any
bottom
real
tower is
action
under
happening
attack.
yet. Top lane, though, Quakefair got extremely low. Going to be forced to south. Going to see a Void onto Era. He still has Rage and Boots.
Oh, the
Era gonna
arrow
be off
goes
the mark.
nowhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he has to throw it that way because if you don't walk right along the tree line and they see the arrow, he just rages and just runs into it anyway, and he'll be fine. So that's the only feasible way he could have arrowed him, is if he took that path. So you miss every arrow you don't throw.
Michael Scott again. So, do you think it's a viable strategy to actually try and force the rages out of the lifestealer, not in order to re-engage, but rather to make him spend his mana, since he's a strength hero and he doesn't have any particularly good mana regen? Or does he still have such a big mana pool that it doesn't matter?
You have to make him rage quite a few times, 3 in a row. It would take quite a while to do it. You'd have to be so aggressive that in 2 creep waves, he's like out of mana. At minimum, like that's what you would need to do. I suppose it is viable, but it's hard when he has boots. He just doesn't feel in enough danger to really rage because he's positioning himself well. So forcing somebody to rage in that type of situation is very difficult. But
Oh, honey.
yeah, we got
Might
a
be
smoke
in
going
trouble.
towards mid. Way 2 and Fluffer here. Honey's sitting on the
If
high
the
ground.
guy
He does
connects.
not have
He
boots.
sees now,
Smoke
but
finally breaks. No,
misses.
the Gale
Oh.
misses. Fluff. He gets an arrow, though. They
It's a
might
small
try to go
one.
for a dive on this. No Tail's here. Cold Snap on the Bulba. No Tail looking for the Burrow Strike. Can't get it, unfortunately. Just too low range. And Liquid going to be foiled again on their ganking mid plan.
It's funny, it's interesting now that you say that about Lifestealer's mana pool. I hadn't really thought about it before, but mana problems are not really something I ever seem
No.
to have on him. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's pretty big.
It's-
He
yeah.
has 300 mana almost at level 4
Yeah.
with no mana items. He's pretty intelligent
Yep.
for a zombie
He's
without a
smart.
jaw.
I can't remember his
Well, he
his
has a
backstory is
wizard
pretty
like
sad.
inside of him or something, doesn't he?
Yeah,
It's
I
like
think
crazy.
he was, wasn't
So
he
that's
locked
why
in
he's
a
so
dungeon
smart.
or something like that, his backstory?
Yeah, so he became progressively crazier and crazier.
Yeah, I know, it
uglier,
feels. It's like living in a good studio.
pretty
Wow.
much.
Shots fired.
And you haven't seen our final form yet.
But I do want to mention about Lifestealer is the other reason why it doesn't really seem like he ever has mana problems is because you use 2 abilities and it's almost a guaranteed kill every time. Whereas some heroes are more spam oriented and you're like, oh man, I can't find anything. And speaking of finding things,
Found a scorpion.
No-Tail's been spotted.
Run away, little Sun-King. And he's sacrificing a lot. It's 5 minutes into the game. He's just level 2.
Yeah.
And that's because he's been roaming so much, creating space so that the Invoker can live. If he wasn't there, the Invoker probably would have died twice.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the pain of being the number 6 support, as Ake likes to call it.
It is tough. I also think like Sun King's an excellent hero. I certainly feel like it's almost a bit of a waste to chuck him in the sort of, right, you just wander around and do nothing. But yeah, I guess if it's creating space for the other heroes, he's doing his job.
And we see the scoreboard, even though he's creating space, the Night Stalker in the offlane is the highest CS
Yep.
in the game.
But not by much.
Not by much. Followed by the Nature's Prophet, which again,
Disruption, bottom lane. Soulcatcher's going to land. Arrow's point blank, but I don't know if they can kill TC. He's going to be really fast. The Sunstrike needs to come down if they want any hope of killing him.
it's night.
And they'll force him back for the time being. So his ulti's going to be able to get him away. Top lane, No-Tail's going to find Koikfa, Burrow Strike, and the hookshot coming in from Trixie.
This is gone.
This is going to be the first blood. Trixie picks it up. And looks like the roaming has finally paid off for No-Tail.
And now he's 3.5.
And that's a good thing, Pyrio. When you're playing as a roamer, you might not get experience, but because everyone else does, when you successfully roam, and you only need a stun, that's all you need. You will get 1, 2, maybe even 3 levels. Just
Catch up quickly.
catch up really,
It is a
really
risk,
fast.
I think, if you don't get anybody. But yeah, you just got to trust. It's like when Andy always says I need to listen to him.
Oh, No-Tail, Trixie, found white play 2, and the battery assault.
No, wow.
Should be a guaranteed kill. There's the ultimate from Koikfa,
Bulba
though,
wants to
doing
be
a
there.
ton of damage. Double Sprout, Bulba. He's going to throw out the Flame Break. Arrow misses because of the Flame Break. No-Tail. He Burrow Strikes away the miss. He's
TC.
not even going to go down, but Trixie, he ends up falling. Trixie now, he wants to find Hani. He should have enough mana for another Void. He's even on int treads. Hani going to be in trouble getting body blocked by the
the
trees
blocks.
from Koikfa. Not
Beautiful.
a chance he's getting out of that one.
What seemed to be really a good pickup for Fnatic, they jumped right there on the Venomancer. It became a nightmare for them since
Radiant's
Liquid
middle
rotated
tower is under
TC
attack.
pretty perfectly, and that first night is a blessing for him. We talked about how Night Stalkers are a bit more streaky right now, it feels. Oh, there's a jump on Fluff.
Disruption.
Radiant's
He's got to
middle
leave.
tower is
Yeah,
under
it's gonna be
attack.
fine. But yeah, as I said,
Wait,
Uh,
what is he?
you. Oh, what?
Wowee.
That's the very, very delayed leap.
One more rocket.
He's going to die to neutrals. Okay.
Okay. Wow.
Oh, he wanted to go back to base, I guess.
I was kind of thinking, like, why isn't he just...
Free TP.
If he just leapt into the river, he would have been okay. But maybe he was assuming Trixie would have hooked him or something. I don't know.
You never know.
You never know.
So, as I was saying, with the 4-minute night, if you're having a good time with the Night Stalker, you will be impactful in this first night. If you're not having a good time, you'll spend half...
Oh, middle, way two. Getting caught again. Teleport coming in from Bulba, but way two's going to be dropping here for sure. Bulba going to get cold snap. No-Tail's here. He does have level 2 Burrow Strike. Going to be able to catch
Oh,
Bulba
baby.
beforehand.
Ooh.
Arrow onto
Huge
Trixie,
arrow.
under the tower, but TC, he wants to go
It's a
for
double.
Hani instead. Koikfa, ultimate doing some damage. Hani's going to go down. Disruption onto TC. In the meantime, Trixie, he takes a fall as well. No-Tail with another Burrow Strike, this time to the low ground. Fluff chasing him down. Arrow in 2 seconds. He has to throw it between the trees. It hits him right in the face.
Nice call by Fluff right there, knowing where Trixie was... No-Tail was going to go.
Skewered him.
Well done.
Yep. Getting the kill right there. And again, what seems to be something that Fnatic does well, it ends up with a counter kill or two from Liquid, and it's 5-5. It's pretty even. The only advantage that Fnatic have right now is that they haven't been rotating the Lifestealer, while everyone else from Liquid has been rotating to these mid lanes to get some kills. So maybe if this Lifestealer can get something out of that little time of free farm he had, this could be huge.
It's era too. I mean, he's going to make the most of it.
Yep, he really likes that hero.
I actually don't know if he likes it or hates it now because he plays it so much. There has to be a point where you just start saying, can we stop picking Lifestealer for me?
Give me something
I don't
else.
know why people are
Oh,
mean
man.
about Lifesteal.
Top
Lifesteal
lane.
is fun as
He's
hell.
boring.
He's fun.
Oh, Trixie.
Fluff behind the tower.
Can't know Fluff is
He
here.
wants it. Yeah, well, he's in biz, so he obviously can't know. But he's going to come out.
Oh.
Now he's spotted. Trixie's like, hey, wait a minute. This is weird. I have level 4 battery assault. If he can force Fluff to leap, he could potentially go for...
Oh, no!
Trixie, no!
Ah,
That was
classic
unlucky.
He
Trixie
was
moments.
anticipating the leap, so he just threw it out as the leap came out, hoping that he would leap straight. But Fluff actually turned a bit before he leapt, so he didn't land it.
That was a really, really good idea by Trixie. Any other way, Fluff would have run away anyways.
Yeah.
So he had to try and do something like that.
Clipped her heels.
Fluff, however, after he leaped, he was still in range of the tower. So if Trixie would have waited and hooked after, but you can never know. Because
Indeed.
if it was outside range of the tower, suddenly you were exposed. There were 2 other liquid heroes there, so just had to take the chance. Didn't pay off, but that's why we like Trixie. He is a risk taker.
Well, I don't think that was really high risk. That was just kind of a, I could have got a kill, but I didn't moment.
Well,
I wouldn't call that a risk. I would call a risk like diving a hero past tier 2 at like 4 minutes in.
he does that as well.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, that's a risk play. What he did was just unfortunate because he misanticipated where the leap was going.
With me.
Era getting drums, very, very quick drums here. He's got the recipe.
I like this.
You love the drums on the left.
Of course he likes this.
Of course I like drums, but it's really important for heroes like Lifestealer because their melee uptime, in terms of how many hits they can get off, is the most important thing. Feast still adds a lot of damage, even at level 1.
Yeah.
And because you have bonus attack speed from the Rage, the closer proximity you can stay to the target that you're hitting for longer, the more damage you do. It's
Indeed.
just a very simple way to put it, so.
Can I ask a question about Lifestealer, please?
Sure.
I was playing a game the other day, and this guy said to me, I've stacked this camp for you so you can go and infest farm it. And I'm just wondering why they're not doing that for Era. Like, he stacked up the hard camp like 3 or 4 times for me. So I could go and get inside the Eagle, pop out, and get like a crazy amount of money in a short space of time. So why not do that?
They could. And actually, as you say, talking about stacking, No Tail tries to, but it gets blocked by an image of Fluff. So the stack's not going to be successful. And they actually have a team who can kill stacks pretty reliably. They have multiple AoEs. Top lane, Trixie. Going to be forced to pop the cogs, get silenced up. TC is on the case, as is Mulligan. Disruption coming out from Fly. I don't know if disrupting him was actually the right choice.
Yeah, I think
they could have just gone for TC and been fine. There's actually a Lifestealer inside of this Sand King. Here comes the Sunstrike. Hani actually misses, but it shouldn't really matter. Bulba going to be dropping anyway. Mirana ulti coming out. They want to turn it around onto No Tail. Urn's going to be used. Immediate Sandstorm. Oh god, he doesn't have mana to stun yet. He has one more. There we go. Burst Strike comes in. Nighttime goes away. Era, he's going to town now on TC, but he just casually TPs away. It's like, you guys don't have any interrupts. Actually cancels. He wants to man fight Era. He pops the Rage, wants to punish TC for canceling that TP. In the meantime, we're going to see Shadow Demon take a fall, and TC might be going down the Sprout in the last second. And the Sunstrike, but TC turns. He turns for the Void, so the Sunstrike misses.
Oh, Trixie. This is a little bit risky.
This is optimistic.
He might get some.
No.
But
The Pixel hits him twice. It hits him twice, so he goes down. Talk about the Luck Lord. Holy crap.
Still pretty favorable for Liquid, this exchange.
If he had any worse of a battery assault split, he would not have killed either of them, and he would have just died. So he actually got lucky to even get that kill. And the Sunstrike missing 2 times in a row, that certainly didn't help. But to be fair, the second time, TC turns around and he just throws like the fadeaway jump shot Void before he goes back to base, so the Sunstrike doesn't land.
Wow.
What a Steve Nash.
What a guy.
So now we see Invoker getting a Hand of Midas as well. Does this help at all?
Well, he needs levels, that's the thing. I mean, Invokers are great, but Exort Invokers more or less just sit in their lane until they have like
He's gone for 4/4 Invoker, yeah. So he went for level 9 Double Spirits.
Yeah, it's pretty standard. I mean, this is a very standard Exort Invoker. I'm going to farm. I'm going to try to get level 17 with Ags and maybe Yules as fast as humanly possible, and then team fight based off that. The one downside is that TC will eventually get a BKB. He's going Armlet first, which I think is fine, because you can toggle really efficiently against Fnatic's type of a lineup. They don't have a whole lot of damage over time, so you can toggle fairly easily. However, when he does get a BKB, the lives of Fnatic, aside from the Lifestealer, are going to become a lot harder.
Well, you can always pop an Ice Wall and just stop him in his tracks.
Well, Ice Wall has to hit before the BKB. It doesn't slow through BKB. You just have to hit it before it's like it. Oh, Trixie. Shot misses.
So many green things in the screen. He got confused.
They're strange, because sometimes you'll be pushing and be wondering why the push isn't working and why you're taking a ridiculous amount of damage. Those things are easy to forget. They're really peppy now, those little play boards. They are peppy.
I like that
They
word.
really are peppy.
That's like they hit you. Oh,
Wow.
Now.
Did you get static shock?
No, he squirted on me.
I just, I basically squirted on him.
Oh my god.
Gonna have to hold that thought. Mirana ulti popped. Potential engagement top.
No, don't hold that thought, please.
It doesn't look like It doesn't look like anything's going to be
A can
happening.
of
out
drink
this.
was opened and some liquid squirted on Bruno, folks. That's all.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
going to take a drink,
Yeah.
and then
For
I
the
opened
people
this
at home
can.
wondering.
I'm not going to say what it is because I'm not going to give anyone free advertisement.
Right.
But
Radiant's
it was an
bottom
accident.
tower
I'm
is
sorry.
under attack.
You don't have to be so yellow about it.
My
Whoa.
life has been changed after this. And there's the push. And that might change
Dire's
Liquid's
top
life as
tower
well,
is under
because
attack.
free money is nice money.
Radiant's bottom
Fluff
tower
and Koikva.
is under attack.
Yeah.
Dire's
Free money is the best money,
structures are
actually.
fortified.
Trade of glyphs. We're going to see what happens right now. There's a little bit of a push up there as well. But Koikva, he pushes really fast. He doesn't need a creeper. He can just tank with his
Radiant's bottom
little
tower
thingies.
is under
Yeah, there
attack.
goes it. There's
Fluff
Radiant's
gets to go.
bottom
Half the
tower
time.
has fallen.
Hey
Fight.
man, support Marana. Not bad.
Who gets this? Who gets Era? No,
Yeah.
Radiant. What?
Oh,
Radiant!
wow, the catapult.
Rule catapult.
Radiant's
Catapult
middle
OP.
tower
So
is
now,
under attack.
Fnatic are in a bit of an interesting situation because they're the ones who have to react since two towers are being simultaneously pushed. There's no glyph. They need to try to go for this. Bulba, he actually pulls the creep wave back as well. Going to see a TP to the tier 1. And
Plague
Fnatic
wards.
will maintain their tier 1. This should get denied, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this will be denied.
The
just
Plague
because
Wards have
it's
actually
Plague.
got it into deny range. Wait, are they going
They
to?
have to time it. If he
They're gonna-
cancels all of his
Oh.
wards and hits at the same time, maybe.
Oh,
Maybe. Era.
Oh,
oh, well
Bottom
done.
tower
Well,
is
the
under
wars
attack.
do so little damage.
It's like
as well.
6 damage to a
Yeah.
tower per
Yeah,
hit.
something like that.
If he had 3 up, he could have potentially gotten it, but that would be like Era falling asleep for a little while.
Piercing damage.
Radiant's bottom
I don't even know
tower
why
is
that
under
thing is still in
attack.
the game. You know, like all these damage types, that they make sense if you understood
Yeah.
what Warcraft 3 was about. But did you know that wards are piercing damage and they do
They do almost no
Radiant's
damage to
50%
towers.
Is
damage
under
to
attack.
towers?
I'll be honest with you, and this is not a slight at the makers of the game, because I think that essentially the game is still made and still built for experienced players, and I have no idea where I'm meant to find out about piercing damage, pure damage, this damage. There's so much oddness. Like some stuff goes through Magic Community, some stuff doesn't, and you think, wait, why does that and not that? Because they seem related. So there is still a lot of. You want to like you know those Haynes manuals that you get for a car.
Yes.
You want one of those for Dota. That's like it just explains everything. You go, oh, that's right. Like for instance, on my car, the indicator and the windscreen wipers
Right.
are switched around. It's a Honda, so they're on other sides
Oh,
of
really?
other cars. Yeah. So I
Oh, that's
still
why
to
you
this
need to
day get in and go to signal and turn on the windscreen
Oh, Era.
wipers.
Keep the thought.
Teleport in
It's
from
going to be
Koikva. Void straight away, but the damage from TC,
That's
man,
nice.
Armlet.
Yeah,
Flav on the other
Armlet,
hand is also being
nighttime.
chased. Trixie, now he's being the chased guy.
Yeah, he's having a real sad time.
Son
Sunstrike
Oh,
comes through.
too late.
Oh, leaps
Oh,
out.
and now Fluff wants to
tail.
come back.
He's got the Burrow Strike, but they don't.
Oh, yeah,
dust.
they do have
Okay.
dust. Fluff,
Good work.
you're gone. And your dominating streak has gone to no
Yeah.
tail. So 531 gold for
That
him.
is a nice
Middle
chunk
as
of
well.
change. Got his
Connie's
mana
gonna get
boots.
spotted out. Defensive disruption on TC. Koikva teleports in. Sprout onto the high ground. Bulba's here as well. He's trying to fly over the ice wall. Hani drops in the meantime. Koikva taking some damage here from the magma. Forge babies. Forge
Forge
magmas.
babies.
Magma babies. That's what I call them.
Magma.
Lava, lava babies? Yeah,
Baby.
magma babies? I'm magma
Baby baboon.
Yes.
There it goes.
They are kind of magma babies because they're like, if there was a frog that was made out of magma, it would look kind of like that.
They're like little
I don't think
Ragnaros.
frogs have babies. They have tadpoles.
Well, they're still babies. They're tadpoles because they don't have legs.
No.
And tadpoles have tails because they're tadpoles.
Well, what do you call like a really tiny little frog? Is that still a baby frog?
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a baby frog.
So, but then the tadpole is a baby and a baby frog is a baby.
No, the tadpole is a baby tadpole.
Yeah, but that's
Which
still a
turns
frog.
into a
I'm
frog.
just saying.
You don't
can't-
say
You
a-
can't be a baby twice, Bruno.
What about baby mosquitoes? Are there baby mosquitoes or only larvae?
Yeah.
Babies.
Yeah.
This is too complicated for me.
I'm no math
Radiant's
guy,
top
but
tower
I don't
is
know what's
under
going on
attack.
anymore either.
Doesn't really matter.
Do you think it's worth, as a Sand King, stopping on the way to Blink Dagger, or do you think you should just get that damn Blink Dagger?
It depends on the game.
Yeah, depends on the team composition
Like,
as well.
if it's going great for you,
No, like if you have another initiator, if you have someone like a clock that can jump there and make people try and focus and kill the clock,
Right.
maybe you don't really need the blink dagger just
yeah.
right there.
It's just that, if you look at Sand King, his job is to be right in the mix, right?
Yeah.
And the problem is, all they need is some dust or a ward, and your big escape from that being
Radiant's
in the
bottom
mix
tower
of
is under
Sandstorm
attack.
is completely screwed. And this happens to me all the time, where I think, great, I've got this 3-man burrow, Sandstorm to not get killed.
Oh, Era, what are
Yeah,
you
they're going to
doing?
catch way two in middle as well. So 1-for-1 trade. Unfortunately, they're going to lose a carry
No-tail
for it on the
comes
side
here.
of Fnatic.
The
Double
Epi
burst
is coming.
Epi comes off, but Quakefire just pops the mech, and No-Tail's Epi does a whole heck of a lot of
Yeah.
nothing. Bulba, in the meantime, he's got a haste rune. He's looking for
No-tail.
more. Fluff is also here. He wants to try to burrow strike, but the turn time from
Yeah.
Sticky Napalm, not
Makes
a
it
chance.
too hard. And Liquid pretty much in control of
Yeah,
this game.
Liquid have really taken control of this.
I feel sad for Hani because it seems that he couldn't get any kind of momentum going into this game. You want this Invoker to be the tempo leader when you're playing in this kind of lineup. You want him to just say, okay, we're pushing now, we're defending, we're taking this team fight, we're doing everything that we need while Era farms. But Invoker hasn't been able to do it. And it's not due to Era's fault, it's just because Liquid's lineup is so in your face with the Bat Rider blinking on you, the Night Stalker just walking towards you,
Yeah.
the Furion TPing behind you, that the Invoker can't really maneuver
Yeah.
properly.
And you've got this surprise assault of the Mirana ult. She ults, all of a sudden there's 3 dudes jumping you.
No, not 3 dudes.
Yeah. And
I hate
Prophet
it
can
when
join the
that
fight at any
happens.
time, yeah.
So just to emphasize what Bruno was talking about, for me, Liquid's lineup is amazing at small skirmishes. As long as it's not a 5-on-5 team fight, which still I think right now they would win because they have a pretty drastic advantage in golden experience. If you're a Night Stalker, a Mirana, a Bat, or a Venomancer, your small scale fighting is great. Like, that's where you excel the most. Even Prophet, because of the way that Quakefa builds, I love that he does this every single game. He goes mech and force staff. He
Yeah.
knows that he's the mech carrier for his team because his lane is always going to be something that he can farm. He can efficiently utilize the map better than any other hero on his team. So he's always able to get that up at a very opportune time. So with that being said, the one hero, being Prophet, who doesn't have great small-scale fighting, is buying team fight items, and we're going
Well,
to see
they're going on fly.
Well, that's still okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go for Era there because if you do, he gets disrupted or the bat
Oh,
does.
true, but I mean,
Radiant's
killing
top tower is under
Fly
attack.
right now doesn't change much.
Radiant
Well, it allows
structures
TC to
are
just run
fortified.
in, do whatever he wants. And
Also,
they're
like-
going to get the tower anyway, yeah.
TC gets the tower.
What you were saying
Top
about the
tower
mech
has
as well is
fallen.
it means that Veno's able to, I mean, he's got a medallion.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, otherwise he would have to get the mech.
And speaking of mech, there's no one from Fnatic that can go mech.
Well, the Clockwork can, but he's going Blade Mail, which
Yeah.
I kind of figured would be the choice.
Mm-hmm.
And the real problem is when you have a late game or an early game deficit and you don't have a mech and the other team does, it becomes a lot more glaring of an issue because all of a sudden you have this 250 health offset where your damage output at this stage doesn't really feel that significant if you're
Yeah.
Fnatic. Like, who do you really focus? You can't go on TC because he's just way too tanky, doesn't even have his BKB done yet, and it already feels like you can't kill him. Quakefa can force staff anyone out of harm's way because they're against the Clockwork, so the first thing that he did after mech was force staff.
Right.
And there's going to be another force staff soon. Oh, never mind, it's a Dagon
Okay.
on Mirana, because that's just where the game's at. So, confidence coming out from Liquid, but it's warranted. I mean, they really are just, they're showing Fnatic what's up right now.
I don't really hate the Dagon here. Normally, we talk about it as a kind of a controller, really ahead kind of item. But if you want to burst down some hero really fast, and with Invoker, you're in kind of that situation where he's going to
Bulba finds Lifestealer again. In the meantime, TC
Well,
gets the
arrow
kill.
misses.
Shen Fluff misses the arrow, but he has a Dagon. Armlet toggle from Era. He wants to try to find somebody. Might be Fluff. Maybe he wishes he had a force staff now, as he gets the Sun Strike to the dome. Middle lane. In the meantime, Trixie is going to get caught out by Bulba. Quakefa's here as well. Pops the Blade Mail. Gale going to land from way two.
Trixie.
Bulba looking to try to turn it
Ah,
around.
so close.
Yeah, he just wants to use an ability, and then he's like, I can't turn around.
Can't raise
Or
arm.
what was that line from Warcraft 3? They came from
Behind. Yep. That's the gyrocopter
Yes.
thingy. So right now, I think that was a nice pickup for Fnatic, to be honest. They kind of needed something going the way. It's fluff. It's a 4 position support. But still, it's a Mirana with a Dagon. It's like, ha, you're building Dagon on us? We're gonna kill you.
I like
However, yeah, No-Tail is there, patiently waiting. They know that Liquid might push right now, but Liquid is, we have this advantage. We're controlling the map. All the lanes are pushed. We don't really need to apply pressure to the tier 2s right now because we can still farm our jungle and their jungle. And that's what they're doing pretty much. They're farming everything that can be farmed. While Fnatic, it's pretty much hugging their towers and going 2-on-2 just because they don't feel safe anymore, even Era.
Yeah. I think a big factor in this game for me was, you mentioned it earlier, No-Tail just, he got first blood for his team, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that. But they needed to pressure Quakefa more. Every time I see him go in a 1v1, against a hero as Nature's Prophet, he doesn't necessarily crush the lane, but his impact in the game is so much better than what he's laning against. Like a Clockwork against a Nature's Prophet, it's so much easier for the Prophet to make things happen than it is for a Clockwork just due to his mobility. So I think the matchup is inherently in favor of the Prophet no matter what, unless you just somehow die solo, you know, a few times, in which case I think the Clockwork can then excel. Because Quakefoot gets these early game support items that complement his team composition so well, and Trixie can't do anything like that. He's just an initiator. And like you said, no mech. So now they're in a position where they're built around fighting during the early mid game, but they can't fight because they've essentially lost all their map control at below the 30-minute mark.
Yep. And with that in mind, what is it they have to do? Right now, if you look at it, the guy with the highest net worth is Hani, just because of the Hand of Midas. But they're not fighting, as you said.
Well, the highest net worth is Quakefoot.
Yeah, no, of course. I meant the side of Fnatic.
Yeah, yeah.
Era is way behind, but he didn't go for Hand of Midas as well. He went for kind of early game, let's fight items, which again, they could never fight. Do you just try and turtle right now and get a big item to make a difference, or do you just go on this road and try to force engagement, hoping that at least you get Liquid to buy back on a hero to maybe shift things in your favor a little bit?
If they're going to go late, they have to get their map back. Like, they can't just sit inside of their base and wait for creep waves to come to them, because the longer you let that happen, the war of attrition is never going to be going in your favor, because Liquid has more of the map to use. So they're not just farming 3 lanes, they're farming 3 lanes, your jungle, and their jungle.
And your tower free.
Yeah, with a Prophet too, you know their efficiency is going to be better than yours. You just can't compete with the kind of mobility that their lineup has. Now, only one of their heroes is really that mobile, but it doesn't matter if the other ones don't feel scared enough to stick together. You know what I mean? Like, there's no 5-man Dota on the side of Liquid because they don't have to. And if they do it, it's to push a tower like we just saw them do to top lane. So a long road back here for Fnatic, the undefeated team right now, currently in the ASUS ROG DreamLeague, and it looks like they might see their first loss at the hands of Liquid.
Potentially, yes. I think that Fnatic, they want to take one more team fight. They're sacrificing these towers because they want to take an engagement that's perfect. They just say, okay, we can't really fight in this way under these circumstances. We're going to wait and not fight. Kind of like something that Speed Gaming likes to do as well. They just wait until this perfect engagement and then rely on their better like individual skills. I'm not sure if Fnatic, they have one by one higher individual skills. I think in some positions they do, in some they don't. I'm going to say which, just because I'm politically correct. But again, if Fnatic get a good team fight, the only one that can buy back and come back fast to the fight is Koikva, of course, because he's a Fury and can't TP back. But if they remove somehow Bova and TC, then suddenly they can just start growing this advantage back. And that's turnarounds like that. We've seen a lot in this tournament.
That's a good point. There have been a lot of turnarounds, and Fnatic's base defense isn't bad. Blink now done on No Tail, so they have Blink Epi, Cogs, and an Exort Invoker who is great at wave clearing. So the potential is definitely there for them to take a team fight. My only concern is that Hani, he's not going for max Exort anymore. He's got points into Wex. He's still 3 points short in having the Meteor doing its maximum amount of damage, which you want, more or less. Although, truthfully, 2 BKBs.
Dagon keeps growing.
Yeah. Dagon, well, it's level 2.
Yeah, well,
MKB
it's not like,
on Quick.
it does grow in power, but it's not necessarily the highest damage thing.
He got so much money. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's what you do when you get Nature's Prophet.
Crazy.
You make money. And I love his build too, because it says, I'm not going to go Shadowblade because it gets countered by Dust, and we know that you have a Clockwork anyway, so there's really no point in me buying that item. I'm going to support my team with the 2 items that I do buy. That way when I teleport in, I'm not just a right clicker during the early stages of the game. And now I'm going to make the transition into BKB so I can still split push, and now I'll make a damage item to make sure that when we're sieging the base, my damage is actually significant.
Yeah. And Fnatic, they seem to decide, okay, we're going to bait. We're going to put someone farming there. There's a smoke. We see if someone bites the bait and goes top. But no, it's just no-tail there. And they have to know if there's no-tail there and Era is nowhere to be seen. Someone has to...
Wow. Okay.
That was
That's something.
Nice.
That is a thing, yes.
The Sanking Lifestealer is quite a nice wombo.
TC does not really seem to care, though. He was running in there like he had something to prove and decided, you know what? Maybe this isn't the best idea.
Bova, he just wants to go there. He has the Imbis rune, and that Imbis rune still has like 20 seconds there. But now everyone's running away, and He can't do much. Oh, the courier. The courier can't. No, please don't kill courier.
Wait, what?
Here, zebra. No one attack.
What
So-
are they?
what?
Why did they just fly? They must have
Oh.
seen, no?
Wow, so much hate for this courier.
One
he
more
has
shot.
the courier is not
He's
dead.
okay.
Oh,
He's
oh,
okay.
Jesus. Oh.
No, he's got it.
No,
No,
he
he
missed.
missed. He missed the courier.
Radiant's
No, they
Okay.
got
Wait, he
They
got it.
Oh, Durka got
my
the
friend
Durka
Durka got a
got a
prize.
courier
Hey,
kill.
Durka.
Jesus, hey.
How do you miss there?
I don't know.
Well,
Does
look at
that
that.
count as like
High
being
ground,
higher?
I
on, like,
don't know, man.
all right,
This is the first
All
time.
right, buddy. You
Well.
get your coding straight.
Wow.
Wow.
I've never seen that before.
No.
I've only ever seen one of my other friends get a prize in game. That was Shane, but it's so funny to see.
Yep. People get paid. I've seen players in the game get
Yeah.
prizes.
Yes.
That's a little bit awkward. And getting a prize for your own death.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. Just to rub it in.
Wouldn't it be better to get a prize for your own kill or something?
Yeah, but that
Yeah.
would be just like too obvious.
Sure.
Like dying and because you die, you get a little bit.
Here, have a rare item.
Yeah.
Here, have a morphling hat.
A morphling hat. Morphling cosmetics are really bad.
Yeah, I've got to say, generally speaking, it's tough to make water look fancy because even if you put it in a pile.
I think he looks like pretty cool without anything.
Yeah, he's got
Like
a cool
cool water.
texture.
I mean, I have those. I don't know what the set's called, but I have like these fins that go on the back of his arms.
Right.
They're like wavy and they're like yellow and red and.
They're probably called yellow-red wave fins.
Yeah,
Yes.
they made me look like I tripped on a coral reef or something. It was pretty cool.
So, as you can see, there's nothing happening in the game.
Not a whole lot, no. It's just Liquid doing more or less what they have been doing for the last 15, 20 minutes, which is just controlling the map. And Fnatic just trying to find some way to get back into it. Really, the biggest thing is, when you're in this situation, you have that looming sense of we're going to get choked out by just a massive gold lead, which I would say
20,000?
20,000 is pretty big, you know? I've seen bigger, but
kind of decent.
it's not bad. You know, we'll say the Liquid has a lead here. However, they're just respecting Fnatic so much that they know that pushing into the high ground with the team composition that they're given is still going to be hard.
Yeah.
So they're just waiting it out.
The other thing is that Fnatic, they really can't split push with this lineup. They have nothing to split push.
Right.
Absolutely
Yeah.
nothing. So they invented, well, they didn't invent, but they were the first ones being called the Rat Dodo. It was that game versus Virtus Pro
Yeah.
about a year ago. And I don't think they can Rat Dodo out of this one.
I don't think so.
What-
I
mean,
think
how-
you were
what-
right
what
though when you
option
said
have they
ban the
got?
Prophet against Liquid.
Yeah.
I think if they play each other again, it's gonna be ban the Prophet or take it yourself.
The odd thing for me was, I mean, isn't Bounty kind of a sort of counter to Profit in a way?
He can be.
Because that was their ban. Like, they banned Bounty and gave first pick to Liquid, and of course they just insta-picked Profit. Like, it felt to me like they set him up by banning the Bounty. He was like, well, now there's even more reason for me to pick Profit. I was going to anyway.
That's actually something I agree with.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I mean, they took Clockwork, which is kind of the same thing, but the thing about a bounty is you can see the Prophet anywhere, right? Like, you know if he's farming the woods, you know if he's been naughty or nice or whatever. You're basically like Santa Claus, but
You better
instead
watch
of
out.
presents, you throw
But
shurikens
with a
at people.
shuriken, yeah. That
I
kind
mean,
of Santa.
I do agree with that sentiment as well. I feel like giving away the Prophet, especially to a player like Quakefa, and when you have such a good Prophet player on your team, it gives you so many more options in terms of what you can do. This is the one weakness of Fnatic's lineups typically, is that when they get behind, they have a very hard time recovering, and that's just inherently how it works. When they win super hard because it's a snowball kind of a team where you can just assume map control. But if you ever don't have map control, you can't get it back because your team is crappy at pushing out waves.
Yep.
You don't have any wave spammer at all, and you don't have anybody who has any mobility. So that's why it's hard to come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, speaking of the coming back, even the Venomancer, he has an Axe Scepter and he's going for a Bale right now.
No way, man.
Helm of Iron Will.
Helm of the Dominator.
No.
He's gonna get a bunch of. No, you can't actually do that anymore. I forgot.
No,
'Cause
you
now
can't
when you get
a
new
bunch.
creeps,
Yeah.
you lose the other one. Before, what people used to do is they would block lanes up with creeps. Like
Yep.
they would just stack them all together and let like 10 waves of creeps stack up.
Pull
and
skulls.
then unleash the
And then,
horde.
yeah,
Could you do that with Plague Wards?
No.
they don't last long enough.
No.
If
Fluff.
you had like a Chen and Plague Wards together, you probably could, because you could get a Helm of the Dominator and a Chen, line up 4 creeps, and block the rest with Plague Wards.
Fill in the gaps like the mortar.
Yeah.
AC completed the Night Stalker, and at this point, the casting is all about telling which items people are getting.
I just think, I mean, you know, Liquid are like, well, we have total map control, and like you
It's-
guys are saying, what are they going to do? Push out?
It's in the bag, basically.
we'll get what we like.
It's just one more push.
We'll get what we need, and then we'll go in.
But I think Fnatic, they can also hold this pretty well if they want to just turtle a little bit more, just because they have the Invoker there. They can.
But he went max Quas. Like, he put more points into Quas. The only reason I can ever see you wanting to do that is a better ice wall. Like, a better ice wall is okay, but 4 of the heroes on the side of Liquid are ranged, and they can still siege your towers with an ice wall down. It's
Here
not
they
really
go.
gonna do
Here
you
it
any
comes.
favors, Yeah. I mean, they could just walk up and do
Fluff
more or less
sees.
whatever. High ground ward. So
I'm
Bulba can
surprised they
find their
don't have a pipe,
initiation.
I've got to say.
Oh, arrow. Very close. Bulba
jump.
goes in, pops the
Yeah,
BKB,
nice.
4-step out, no tail dive straight away. Era's now out, but the cogs are actually blocking him from doing any damage. The Invoker combo comes out onto wave 2. He's going to take a fall. It's a buyback from Trixie on the side of Fnatic, but there's still 2 down. Era going to be the next one to fall.
Look at the damage.
And I would not imagine Fnatic being able to recover from that. I mean, they just bought back on 2 heroes when they haven't had any map control for the last 25 minutes. This is, to me, Liquid showing what they're actually capable of. Everyone was hyping Fnatic going into this match, saying, you know what, Fnatic, they looked spectacular in the last 4 games that they've played, but here, Liquid have their number.
Well, James called it, really. He said, normally we cheer for Fnatic, but Liquid, they have been showing that they have some tricks under their sleeve. And that's something I said at the beginning of the DreamLeague, is I think Liquid had not adapted properly.
Oh, Burrow Strike from No Tail. Cold Snap's going to be there as well. Era looking like he wants to chase somebody, but who does it really go for? Trixie's going to eat an arrow in the face.
Still has a hook. Optimistic hook.
Oh, he can go for Quick Foot.
Well, he's too far away.
Oh, yeah, he ran. Never mind. He's not going to go in.
TC's like, let's do it.
I mean, they lost their melee racks. They got TC's Aegis, but there's no BKB for 10 seconds. They could potentially do something here. Burrow Strike in from No Tail, blinks forward. Only gets 1. Dagon's there as well, gets him quite low. In comes the Bat Rider, Blink, BKB, both popped. Cogs from Trixie, TC pops his own BKB. He's just man fighting. No, he's going to die no matter what, and he gets a kill. Maybe he won't die. The armlet toggle, just barely
just
goes
drops.
down. Era gets the kill on him. Era, he infests the side of the creep. He's going to be able to kill a Quick Foot as well, and now he dies to the... Oh, man. Was that a deny attempt? Because I could have sworn that thing looked like it hit him.
Yeah, but the thing is that no one in
Radiant's
Fnatic has
middle
buyback
barracks are
now,
under
right now.
attack.
Yeah,
And
Quick Foot just bought back, and
GG.
Fnatic are like, yeah,
Yeah.
we can't do anything.
we really can't do anything. And I wanted to wrap this up with the idea that Liquid, at the beginning of this tournament, they didn't really understand how 679 worked. But right now, I think they've got it. I think they know how to play the lanes, how to put people in the right position, and how to make the most out of what the map can give you right now. And this was shown today by being so dominant against Fnatic.
Yeah, the dynamic of Fluff's drafts, I really like. And I know TC helps draft too. It's like the 2 of them,
Yep.
more or less. And obviously most teams, they all have some input, but for this team, it's TC and it's Fluff who make most of the decisions in terms of the draft. You have good lane push because you have Mirana support, you have a Prophet. You know you're always going to maintain your map control once you get it, which is key here because Fnatic didn't have any way of getting map control back outside of just being able to gank maybe. You know, you smoke, you find 1 or 2 heroes. The problem with that kind of a lineup is you need so much to go well for you during the early mid game to be able to stay in the game. It's like once you slip and fall, you're like a turtle. You're just on your back and you're like, I can't do anything. Help.
Welcome back, me.
Welcome back,
Jay.
James.
Great break, by the way. Got Masseuse back there.
Really?
Is he still there?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome, I'm going next.
Oh, apparently I've muted my mic,
Uh-oh.
but I don't think I have muted my mic because I can hear myself
Yeah.
in my
I can
in-ear.
hear you too.
Yeah, I think it's
We can all
it's
hear.
just Milton. Yeah, but we'll see if that's the case. I'll go check my microphone for you, Milton, just to prove that it's definitely not
I
muted.
can hear you. You definitely
Yeah, I can totally
Yeah, I can hear you as well.
Apparently I'm fine now.
I don't know what's going on.
Well
Yeah.
done, James, for fixing your microphone.
Thank you, yeah, producing this as well. But I just want to say on that game, like Bruno, you said, you know, we were hyping Fnatic. I actually, you know,
Yeah.
we
Well, no,
did
I meant
say
like I was saying like we, as in I thought Fnatic were
royal
the
we.
favored. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, but it's at the same time, Liquid are just getting more solid per game. This is the first time that they've gone up against each other, Fnatic and Team Liquid. So
Really?
so far, Fnatic have beaten Na'Vi twice, Alliance once, and Virtus Pro.
Right.
So first time up against Team Liquid lost, which is great for Team Liquid. They're like, well, we beat them once, we've got to play them twice. As you know, if you guys don't know at home, everybody plays everybody twice, and there's a total of 30 games in the league up until the playoffs, which will be concluded at DreamHack Winter. So a big win for them. But I will say this, Fnatic, they played shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't play that well.
Like, you know, did you see Trixie?
Yeah.
Like top that Mirana leap.
Yeah. Well, the
I
reason he
could've
did
hit
it,
that.
the reason he did it is because he was afraid of her getting out of tower range because she had popped the ulti.
Yeah, but the thing is, even if she popped the ulti, you've got battery assault level 4, which can still
Doesn't hit him, this.
No, it doesn't.
but you've also got the other ability, Rocket Flare.
Which
It
doesn't
was level
really
1 at
miss.
the time
Wouldn't
because it
even
had
do that
level 4
much
battery
damage.
assault.
Okay.
But you know, there was
Now I
But no,
understand.
yeah, it's because
But the point is, if he actually hit it, like
it would have been a kill.
it could have been tower range.
Yeah, it would have been
yeah,
tower
yeah.
range.
So
He
that,
missed
that
it.
wasn't the whole game, though. I mean,
no, but generally they did. They overextended. They
there
didn't
seemed
connect.
to be a period in the game where they were exchanging fairly, and then all of a sudden they just stopped and just.
I don't think it was an even exchange.
It was
I
5-5.
think they messed up a lot of their team fights, Fnatic. I really do.
They
Like
felt
disruptions were off point by Fly.
Yeah.
Trixie did not play well and went
Yeah.
too aggressive. Hanny on his Invoker was protected, but then at the end of the game he was maxing Quaz.
Yeah. I
was
still
that
don't know
about?
why he was doing
Yeah.
that.
Like,
I thought to myself, okay, what does Quas give you? Better cold snap duration, and
Slower
ice
people
wall.
on Ghost Walk.
But like,
I mean, that was pretty much it.
what's the disarm duration on Deafening Blast? What's that come from?
That is Quas.
Yeah, so maybe it was just that, because that's the only thing I could think of.
Still.
All right,
Didn't
right.
work.
We'll leave it at that. But anyway, we're going to go to a break, and when we come back, we'll do the post-game analysis and so show some of those moments that I think Fnatic should have had going their way if they played it better. And also, we should actually have next game being Virtus Pro against Evil Geniuses. But we've just been told Evil Geniuses manager and owner Alex Garfield is so disappointed in his team that he's deleted all their Dota Steam accounts. And so thus far, he's told them go back and play the Dota campaign, learn the basics, and then you get to play Dota. So we might actually see Virtus Pro against Fnatic next,
Oh.
because EG are doing the campaign, which is a game that they've already played and Fnatic won. So this will be the second time that they meet. So they already played against each other once, not the game they played. So that might be our next game, but we'll find out when we come back here at the ASUS ROG DreamLeague.
It's time to extend your domination. Extend your command precision with an 8200 DPI Pro Aim R3 laser sensor. Extend your atmospherics with a fully customizable 4 LED multicolor lighting system with effects. Extend the life and accuracy of your gaming with the Rocket Titan wheel, the Cone XTD Max Customization Gaming Mouse.